Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The chairman of the Royal College of General Practitioners says the organisation should drop its opposition to euthanasia and assisted suicide and go neutral. Dr. Clare Gerada will promote the idea at a meeting of members of the GPs Council. In 2011, the Royal College of GPs said it was strongly opposed to euthanasia and assisted suicide. And just last year, the British Medical Association also rejected an attempt to adopt a neutral position on the issue. But Dr. Peter Saunders, campaign director for Care Not Killing, is concerned. He said going neutral would be inappropriate, undemocratic and potentially highly dangerous. He also thinks Dr. Gerada's call seems deliberately planned to coincide with the tabling of two new parliamentary bills aimed at legalising assisted suicide. Lord Faulkner is introducing a bill into the House of Lords in May, and Margot MacDonald is set to bring a bill to the Scottish Parliament later in the year. Meanwhile, in Belgium, senators have begun looking into allowing euthanasia for children, just 11 years after it legalised the practice for adults. Philippe Mahou, one of the driving forces behind the 2002 law, now wants to extend the legislation to cover children of any age with a serious and incurable disease. Witnesses will appear in the upper house of the Belgian Parliament to discuss the proposal in deliberations which could last several months. Registrars who believe in traditional marriage should be forced to conduct gay weddings against their will, according to the Equality Regulator. The Equality and Human Rights Commission has been giving its opinion to the Public Bill Committee set up to review the government's same-sex marriage bill. The Commission even suggested that some church ministers should be required to act against their personal beliefs if that's what their denomination wants. Robin Allen, a lawyer who was advising the Equality and Human Rights Commission on the bill, told MPs that registrars would have to perform such ceremonies because the definition of marriage will have been changed. Meanwhile, Conservative MP David Burrows has tabled an amendment to the bill which would allow registrars to opt out of performing same-sex marriages for reasons of conscience. The amendment is supported by fellow Tory backbencher Tim Lawton. An influential group of NHS experts is urging the Scottish Government to allow the morning after pill to be handed out in schools. The Scottish Sexual Health Lead Clinicians Group asked, why is emergency contraception not available in schools? Why are condoms and contraceptions not accessible? Vaccination against a sexually transmitted infection, human papillomavirus, is given in schools. Why can't pregnancy and other STIs be prevented? The calls come as the Scottish Parliament's Health and Sport Committee is looking into the level of teenage pregnancy in the country, which is one of the highest in Western Europe. John Deegan, the parliamentary officer for the Roman Catholic Church in Scotland, thinks the calls for school handouts are irresponsible. He said, they are promoting the behaviour that causes the problem. Children are already being sexualised to an outrageous extent and not enough effort is being made to discourage it. A branch of the fast food chain Subway has been forced to shut after it advertised a Valentine's Day deal that did not include gay couples. The outlet in France, which offered a discounted meal for male-female couples, said it was exercising its freedom of expression. Same-sex marriage was approved by the country's National Assembly last week, but still needs to go to the upper house of the French Parliament to be ratified. Small print at the bottom of the store's advert said, discrimination? No, the Marriage for All law has advanced, but is yet to be ratified by the Senate. Until then, I'll use my freedom of expression. But following a backlash on Twitter and Facebook, the franchise was forced to close by national management. A statement from Subway said, we are committed to diversity and integration. We are working with the owner of the restaurant to reinforce our values and policy. And finally, a mother from Carlisle with locked-in syndrome has defied doctors' expectations for her condition with the message, don't give up. Nicola Watson suffered a stroke in 2009, which left her unable to speak or move. The mother of two could only communicate by blinking and only had a slight movement in her right arm. Now Mrs. Watson is back in her own home and is able to control lights, blinds and heating with remote control devices. She also hopes to get equipment to be able to use a computer and write a book about her fight. But her husband Neil remembers the day he found out about the syndrome.
We were later told that Nick would probably never talk again, never eat again. But you just keep that hope that she's one of them few percent that does make, you know, a recovery.
And daughter Hannah says her mother is an inspiration.
She's an inspiration. Like, she was like really ill and no one seen hope for her, but she seems to have fought for it, and I think she's fought for it like because of us all of us.
Mrs. Watson has been able to regain some speech and had this message for others in a similar position.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Get as much support. Keep fighting. There is hope. That's the message we're trying to get across. When people do suffer these things,
There's hope.
there's hope. Yeah.
Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.